Houston, we have a problem.
Give me all you got!
What I do have are a very particular set of skills.
Give me back my gun! I didn't kill my wife! I don't care!
We're recording now.
I thought you already did. I was
waiting for your bit to be over, but we're recording now, so everybody can hear me say this. Johnny, our esteemed guest, is drinking and smoking pot right now, and I think, listen, being drunk and high is really the only way to talk about this very dull movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Boring.
yeah.
Dull as dishwater.
Nothing happens in this movie.
No. Like a future robot man comes and absconds with a young boy, and a upstanding police officer tries his best to get him into safe custody back to his foster parents, and in the end that doesn't happen.
Yeah,
And,
and how am I supposed to buy that Kindergarten Cop is a badass? It's just not possible.
He's a cop and a kindergarten teacher? No, that's the most uncoolest mix of professions I've ever seen in one person. And don't even get me started on Jimmy Cameron. He's really messy here. There's a whole
Floppy.
That Jimmy Cameron
time paradox.
He's never going to make any money.
He didn't take any of the lore from the first movie into consideration. He created a time paradox. He fucked all this up.
Yeah, always bet against Jimmy Cameron, because that man's never going to make a good movie, and he's never going to make a profitable movie either.
No,
Yeah.
no, I don't think so. I think his time in Hollywood is probably limited.
Yeah.
He's over the hill. Is that a negative idiom? He's over the hill.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. He's done. Stick a fork in him. And is he? I've heard he goes by Jimmy, but is he Jimmy? You're 70. I'm gonna call you James.
I'm 36. People call me Johnny.
I'm going to keep calling him Jimmy. I'm going to start calling you Jarnathan, because that's your full legal name.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, it's Jonathan. It's Jonathan from now on.
It's not Jonathan.
It's not Jonathan.
It's John.
It's Jarnathan.
It's Jonathan. I'm sorry.
It's Jonathan or John. Dude, please do not call me Jonathan. That's a pet peeve of mine.
How many A's are in your spelling of Jonathan? Because the amount of times,
3.
like the way,
And they're all in a row.
They're all at the end. Yeah, they're all at the end.
Variations of Jonathan are right up there with Caitlin. It's getting a little out of hand. It pisses me off.
How many? Can I ask you something, Nick? How come there's 3 Ks in your name, and how come they're all next to each other?
Yeah,
that was just a choice my parents made.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
David Duke Kaufman over there.
They were in high school when they had me. I don't think they knew any other letters. They just knew NIC and K, and they're like, well, we want more than 4 letters in his name, so
yeah.
There's 2 more Ks. Sick shit. I don't condone my parents being in the Klan, but here we are.
Well, hello and welcome to Stand and Watch, the best and only dad movie podcast you can listen to, because we killed all the other ones.
We killed them all, and you know what? A few more popped up between seasons, and we killed them too.
Yeah.
Yes.
And straight to hell.
Yeah. We took a nice break after the end of season 1, specifically to kill the ones that were popping up.
Big break. And don't feel bad for them. They were all bad dads.
Yeah.
They're all very terrible bad dads.
They had it coming.
One of them was a CEO of some healthcare company. I don't know.
I don't know. I'm not familiar with that.
Yeah.
I will assume he was a bad dad as well.
Yeah, he was a terrible dad.
Terrible dad. Even worse podcast host.
Yeah. But we're back with season 2, and we've bumped this guest long enough. Actually, maybe not long enough, but we'll see.
I've been begging Matt for this guest. I said, Matt, I need a fellow dad on this show. And he said, I'm going to get you a dad.
You haven't had any other dads? I'm the first other dad?
First other dad. Everyone else?
Man.
Everyone else? Not even a man.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. This is you know what? Because me and Nick like to fancy ourselves ladies' men.
No, it's because DEI has ruined everything. You don't even have dads on your dad podcast? What is this?
No, yeah. Speaking of DI, one of them is kind of a games journalist.
Oh.
wait, the rare games journalist? There's 40 of them left.
It's urinalist.
Urinalist.
Excuse me.
I'm just saying, if you run into a games journalist, you should probably tag them because they are endangered. We need to keep a track of them.
Yeah.
We need to make sure that they are breeding with other games journalists and that
No,
they
whoa. Hang
Yeah.
on.
This was a super. Our guest was a super rare breed of games journalist because they worked for independent media.
Oh shit! Wow, that
Even
is like
more
a
endangered.
unicorn.
Yeah.
Even more endangered. Tag it. We have to watch. We have to be sure. We have to keep.
But yes, I am a dad. I'm here to discuss what I feel very strongly is like one of the ultimate dad movies. I don't know what your two feelings.
You're here
Are
for
on the matter,
Terminator
but-
2, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
Terminator 2.
I was confused
Oh,
by
shit,
your
I thought-
description.
I thought you booked him for The Nice Guys. Shit, I watched the wrong movie.
I haven't watched The Nice Guys.
Oh,
Banger.
I was told I should by someone yesterday. Actually, was
That's
it
a-
you, Nick?
that's a smart
It might have
person.
It might have been me. I told Johnny and I actually had coffee IRL. For those wondering, that's in real life.
Yeah.
And we got to reconnect over a cup of coffee at the exact same table where we met.
It's
If
true.
you're wondering, how do we know Johnny? He's one of the other writers at Hard Drive.
Yeah, he's like the fourth
I am.
best one there.
Wait,
Okay.
where am I on?
Who are the three other better ones?
Alex.
And are you including yourself?
Alex is immediately better than you.
Uh huh.
And then the other two people who are better than you, I don't remember their names. They haven't written for Hard Drive in years, but I know they're better than you.
Okay. All right. Well, I accept that. That's fine. Top 4. I'll take it.
I'm jealous.
That's better than being bottom 4.
Top 10.
So yeah, thanks for having me on the show, fellas. I haven't actually listened to the podcast. I will admit, I haven't listened to an episode.
Terrible guest already. Already our worst
know.
guest.
At least I'm honest.
Aren't you a journalist?
No, I'm not. So why don't you fill me in on how things go here? How do you all usually do this? Are we keeping it fast and loose? Is there a rigid structure?
I mean, I sent you the
fact
format.
that we just
You should know this.
You did, but also
Couldn't even do your research.
we just kind of bullshit for 30 minutes or so.
Oh,
Is he still number 4 after this? Is he still number 4?
we'll see.
No.
We'll see. I might bump him down after this.
Bottom 5 definitely now.
I'll have to read
Like-
I'll have to read his CEO article and see how I feel about it.
It's
Post it on
gonna.
a Friday at 5 p.m. Just kill it.
Oh
Listen,
no,
Johnny,
Yeah.
Johnny, if you think 30 minutes of us bullshitting before recording is bad, when we don't have a guest, it's usually an hour and a half.
We
Wow.
waste a lot of time. We're really good at wasting time here.
Yeah. I think one time, weeks ago, we spent at least 20 minutes watching a clip from Robot Chicken before recording.
Well, let's
It was
just
all-
research.
You know what else we watched? We watched horse hooves being cleaned.
What?
Have you not seen these videos?
It's very satisfying.
I mean, I've seen videos of it. It's just
It's really
wow.
good.
Yeah.
They
Well,
get the mic all up in it, and you
It's
can
just
hear
a lot to take in, fellas. That's all.
It's good YouTube. It's good YouTubing.
So what happens next? What do we do?
well, okay, we're talking about Terminator 2, which the listeners obviously know because the episode is titled Terminator 2 and then colon Terminate, more like Terminator Poo.
It's a good title. I love that.
Parentheses dull.
Yeah. Nick, why don't you introduce the movie? Because you always do that much better than
Yeah,
I ever did.
I've got the trusty Wikipedia article up. Terminator 2 Judgment Day, or simply T2 as it's known around the world. It's a 1991 American science fiction action film directed by James Cameron, who co-wrote the script with William Wisher. What a great name. Stars Arnold Schwarzenegger, Linda Hamilton, and Robert Patrick. It is the sequel to The Terminator. Drop the. And is the second installment in the Terminator franchise. The film, the malevolent artificial intelligence Skynet sends a Terminator, a highly advanced killing machine, back in time to 1995 to kill future leader of the human resistance, John Connor. When he is a child, the resistance sends back a less advanced reprogrammed Terminator to protect Connor and ensure the future of the humanity. Yeah.
Yeah.
1991 movie. Budget Budget is between 94 and 102 million. I love that we don't know. Box office was about 520 million. So they made a pretty pocket change on this one.
There was a 3D version of this movie that was at Universal Studios, I think, for a long time.
The full movie?
Because I'd always see like a trailer for it in front of another movie that I used to watch a lot as a kid. I never got to see it though, because I've never been to Universal Studios, and obviously they don't play this movie at Universal Studios anymore.
Oh, they used to have a Universal Studios ad that I think had part of the movie. Like they would do the B-roll of people watching the 3D movie, and like you could see like the T-800.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And actually, I didn't see this movie or the other Terminator movie until 2011 or 12.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I didn't see them when I was a young boy, for some reason, and it was just one of those movies. The same thing happened with Alien and Aliens. I didn't see either of those until I was like a full-grown adult, and they're all some of my very favorite sci-fi movies.
Well, I haven't seen this.
Movies.
I haven't seen this until 2 days ago, but I have seen Terminators 1 and 3 multiple times.
That's disgusting. You should.
Why?
I mean, Terminator 1 is a classic film, but yeah, like to not see T2,
Terminator 3 is the first one I watched because it was on TV one day.
Okay,
you were missing so much.
But I can at least accept that seeing it once, but to have seen it multiple times.
Well, I watch it whenever it comes on TV.
Oh my god, this is a bad idea.
It's a movie that I enjoy, so when it comes on TV, I watch it.
Okay, all right. I am just pointing out the fact that there's a much better film that has existed for a very long time that you did not see. It's
called Terminator Salvation, and I'm looking forward to watching it.
The best in this series. The best.
Yeah, I hear they just keep getting better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward
to usually
Dark.
That's usually how sequels go with aging action stars.
Did we learn nothing from Last Action Hero? So I watched T2 at a very, very young age, way too young. Like I was young enough to where I remember I thought this was a scary movie just because of the scene with the T-1000 and the step parents. That used to scare the shit out of me.
Just the opening of this movie though, man. Like the person getting blown apart on the fence, like reduced to their skeleton, which I know isn't actually how an atom bomb works. So don't actually in the comments, anyone. But still, like the imagery, incredibly effective. Like the opening of this movie is so good. It's clearly like things have gone real bad for humanity, and you've got these tanks just crushing skulls and shit, and it's incredible. Like it's such a strong opening. I don't know how y'all feel about it, but like it's one of my favorite openings to a film, I think.
That first T-800 stepping on that skull, like that skull was just like, oh yeah, we're fucking, we stepped in.
Yeah. It's like, hey, this looks like a future we may live to see someday.
3 years actually.
If Sam Altman has his way. Fucking guy.
I was at a conference where he was like a guest speaker, and everyone fucking was hanging on every word, and I was just like, are we doing this? Are we really believing everything this man is saying? I just couldn't believe everyone was like enamored with him. Like, oh my god, Sam Altman.
You'd be surprised how stupid people are.
He's a dopey weirdo. But we're not here to talk about Sam Altman. Are we? Is this?
Yeah, this is actually, we tricked you, Johnny. This isn't a movie podcast. This is about, this is a Sam Altman podcast.
Oh, okay. I mean, I already listened to Better Offline with Ed Zitron, so I've got ammunition ready to go. If we need to take a shift in subject here.
We're doing a Behind the Bastards spinoff called Behind the Fucking Prick Bastards. Yeah.
I don't know if Robert Evans would let that fly or not.
He already said the name was cool. He said,
Okay, all right. He gave us our blessing. Cool. Or gave us his blessing. But yeah, like this, I would say this is one of the movies of the 90s.
It's definitely a movie from the 90s, but
That's true.
before we get into it, let's read our dad approved Letterboxd reviews.
Okay, I'll go first. I pulled one from Julia, who is a patron on Letterboxd. I still don't know what that means. She gave the movie 4.5 stars and a heart and said, "So you're telling me that there are 4 more sequels that don't make any sense in my head besides this one?" I agree. I don't get the rest of them.
All right. My review comes to us from Mosco, who is a patron on Letterboxd, which means they have more money than you. They gave this movie 5 stars and no heart. So I wonder what that means. Mixed signals there. They wrote, "I had just started work and was having a cup of tea when I noticed this had just started on TV. Obviously, I just sat on my arse and watched it before I thought about actually working."
Good for him.
Yeah.
This one is from Ryuk, RYUK. They give it 5 stars, and he simply says, "Wasn't expecting the T800 to be a father figure. Like that's the dad that stepped up. I think short, sweet, to the point. And yeah, he does step up, doesn't he?
He does.
He's the father that John Connor never had. This unfeeling machine."
Johnny, you know the billboards around Missouri that are like, "Step up, be a dad."
Yeah.
They should do one of those, but it's just the T2 movie poster.
Yeah. Perfect campaign.
Everyone would be like, I thought about leaving my kid, and then I saw the T2 step up, be a dad.
Is
fucking
Arnold
billboard
on
as,
the
like,
is Arnold on the poster?
Yeah.
Well, you can't have.
It's him with the Sean off shotgun.
No, you can't have Arnold on a poster that says "Step up, be a dad," because what if the dads have a maid?
Oh no!
I mean, he's
They'll see this poster and be like, "Yeah, okay, I get it."
I should get a maid and cheat on my wife.
Yeah.
My Kennedy wife.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. He's married to some other lady now, and they're very happily married. And he's probably being a good dad to her kids as well.
Yeah, and he doesn't have any relatives anymore that think polio should come back.
No. Now that Chris Pratt's related to them, I think
Maybe he does then.
Do we want to get into our review sandwiches of
Yeah, of
T2
course.
Judgment Day? Do we want to judge Judgment Day?
We want a Judgment Day.
Look, I'm gonna say it. We've only had 2 movies that have had chases on the LA River. This was the best one. This was the best LA River chase I've seen in a movie.
What was the other one?
Ambulance.
Ambulance.
Ambulance?
Yeah.
Yes,
That's the name of a movie?
Michael Bay's Ambulance.
With the L and the A capitalized because it's set in LA.
Starring one Jacob Gyllenhaal, doing some great cocaine acting.
When did this come out?
2022.
What?
Yeah.
A movie called Ambulance.
It's about their bank robbery goes wrong and they hijack an ambulance and they're chased by the police for 2.5 hours through LA in an ambulance.
That's a terrible name for a movie.
You were better off before ever knowing this was a thing. I'm sorry I brought it up.
Why have you cursed me with this knowledge?
It's a great movie and you should all watch it.
Well, Michael Bay is the... James Cameron is the poor man's Michael Bay. So, as we all know.
In Ambulance, Michael Bay discovered drone cameras, and we were all better for it.
He's just flying his drone cameras across the LA River, just looking for the perfect shot. Like, that's all he does now. But no, I really loved that chase. I think we should watch more movies that have chases on the LA River. The only other thing I can think of right now, San Andreas has one.
The game or the movie that's starring Dwayne Johnson?
Well, I'm talking about the video game.
Oof.
But
I'm going to Google movies with LA River chases.
Listen, chases and movies just trigger something in my brain that make me feel like I need to stand up. Which, makes sense given the name of this podcast. But yeah, like, fuck, the part at the very end when he walks off of the pickup truck onto the hood of the semi truck and just unloads the magazine and then turns the wheel, and as it flips over and starts sliding, he just like casually like climbs down and just waits for it to come to a slow enough a bit of momentum for him to tuck and roll. Like
Some
it's
really good truck stunts too. Like they beat the shit out of that utility truck throughout that LA River. So like every time you look back at it, it's missing another piece.
Mhm.
And I mean, it's noticeable once they get down to like the bare minimum that like some of that ends up being green screen. I think towards the end, but it's so fucking good. They just keep beating like the only other truck it's up there with like the truck sequence in The Dark Knight.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
good stuff.
You have these quieter moments interstitched with just the most over the top insane action. After John tells him not to kill anyone, and he fucking unloads a minigun
He
on a
killed
crowd
somebody.
of cops. He's like, is your programming that good that you can tell exactly where all those bullets are going to deflect? Like, how do you know that someone wasn't like sitting in the back seat of one of those squad cars? But yeah, like it's so over the top. It's so fucking. It feels like it feels like the last gasp of like the 80s kind of over the top action.
Mhm.
That happened to come out in 91. Like I feel like this movie could have easily come out in 88, 89 and like be considered one of the peak 80s action movies, but it's maybe they shot part of it in the 80s still. I don't know how long it was in production or when it was being filmed or anything, but yeah, this is one of my favorite movies. Like I can throw this on anytime. I don't know about you guys.
This was a movie that was on constantly in my
Mm-hmm.
childhood. Like I'd look up and be like, "Oh, we're watching T2 again," and I mean, it'd be before I was a dad. It's one I would sit down to watch, and I would still do the same. I think it's a pretty good movie. Now that I am a dad, the themes of like life having value and like being a good father figure or being a father really stuck out to me. Something that I missed throughout the years every time. And now that I'm a dad and I see that, I'm like, oh, like this movie is about shitty dads. Does James Cameron have a shitty dad? Do we know his? Do we
He
know?
might. Maybe that's why he spends all his time at the bottom of the ocean.
Maybe he
Trying-
is a shitty dad, so that's why he's making these movies.
Where's Dad again? He's at the bottom of the fucking ocean.
Dad,
He probably takes his kids with him.
Dad, can you come play catch with us? No, I'm fucking innovating cinema.
I'm working on a sequel. I'm
in the
creating
Marianas
worlds.
Trench right now.
No, CNBC wants to interview me about subway safety. I can't come to your ball game, Jimmy Jr. I'm sorry.
Dad, are you gonna make
Subway safety or submarine safety?
I'm sorry, submarine safety.
Dad-
Well, Subway also needs some safety help, so I think
Like
Dad,
the sandwich shop?
yes.
Dad, are you gonna come? Are you gonna come to my recital?
I mean, I hired Jared Fogle, so you're not wrong.
I'm raising the bar.
Are you raised?
I'm pushing cinema. And in 6 years, I'm going to build half of the Titanic. Just watch.
This, rewatching this is our second Jimmy Cameron movie. And I was throughout the whole time I was sitting there, I was thinking like, what movie that doesn't have a sequel yet could James Cameron come in and like, where they're like, man, first movie people love, but we really need to up the game for the sequel. Is there a movie that comes to mind? I have one in the chamber already, but I wanted to ask you guys.
I mean, Aliens comes to mind.
No, but he already made
You
Aliens.
want him to do the threequel. You want him.
Oh wait, sorry, I
proper
must have missed the first part of that question. What movie do I want him to make the third version of to amp it up?
The second.
So a movie that doesn't have a sequel that we want James Cameron to make a sequel to. See, I'd say Twisters, but
Big Lebowski.
they already made Twisters. Twister $.
So what did all you could have done the Twisters?
Oh God, it's got to be something where he can put a $sign at the end of it.
I think you know what it was, because It Follows is so fresh in my head.
Oh,
they follows $.
They Follows.
Look, anyone can make a better It Follows than what It Follows is.
It Follows, and it's just a bunch of $signs at the end.
Oh, did you not like that movie, Matt?
No, I despised it.
I was hyping it up. I was like, "Oh man, this movie is amazing!" And then I rewatched it, and we had that awkward moment where I was like, "Oh no, I was hyping this up and I don't like it now.
I think I rated it on Letterboxd. I think I gave it like a 3.
Everybody,
okay.
everybody I talked to was like, "Oh, this movie's amazing! It was incredible!" And I'm like, "Great first 5 minutes, great first 5 minutes, and then just a nosedive."
The ending of that movie felt like they just kind of didn't know what to do. Like,
I don't know. That whole movie to me felt like they didn't know what to. They had okay, so we're gonna have a. I'm gonna start ranting about It Follows now instead of talking about Terminator. But that whole movie was like, okay, we got a great concept of a thing that follows you, and and let's just turn it into like nothing.
You know what was a great movie, Monster? The T-1000.
That's true.
Oh man!
Anytime Robert Patrick was on screen, I was excited.
I love that they made him a cop.
This movie's got an authority issue.
Yeah,
it really hates authority.
Yeah,
good old Jimmy Cameron.
The mullet kid not ratting out John.
That's a homie right there.
Yeah,
nope.
that kid was better than the other kid.
You know what that kid wouldn't? If that kid was working at McDonald's,
that kid wouldn't work at McDonald's. He'd work at Burger King.
Don't do the rats. You know what T-1000 does to rats?
Oh yeah. Was Robert Patrick in anything before this?
Let's find out.
Because if not, what a great find.
He's in Wayne's World as the T-1000. That's right.
Yeah.
Die Hard 2.
Was he?
Yeah, was he one of the bad guys in Die Hard 2? I think he was.
Yeah, he was in Equalizer 2000. He was in Future Hunters, Eye of the Eagle, Killer Instinct, and Warlords from Hell.
I forgot he was a cameo in Last Action Hero.
Oh, well, okay. Well, let's just call this his big break because he's so great. It's just
oh my God, he's so chilling in this role. Like he just
just no emotion whatsoever.
Yeah, and the part, and it's not even Robert Patrick, but the part where he takes the form of the security guard at the mental hospital, and the way he just like tilts his head and watches as the man who he just skewered with his pointy finger, like just
I love his little hand knives that he makes.
Mm-hmm. Or
that's where Wes Craven stole the Scream head tilt. I guarantee you that's where that came from. Like, I think in a handful of the Screams, like they'll stab someone and then do the
I'm just casually observing what I'm doing to you right now. Yeah.
I love when he stabs the foster dad while he's just drinking out of a carton of milk. He just stabs him through the carton.
Yeah, because he's irritating him.
And he's like,
and I don't need you to be alive anymore.
I love that shot where it just slowly pans and you see the knife going through the carton and then his face.
Yeah, there's a lot of really effective shots like this in this movie that really codifies like what a threat he is. And even when he's not there, at least to me the whole time, I'm like, fuck, when is this thing going to show up again? Because like Arnie makes it very clear, like I'm not as strong as him. Like
I'm obsolete compared to this guy.
Yeah.
I love too, he's not like a big muscle guy, like he's strong, but like he's like Robert Patrick he's not like not in shape, but like compared to Arnold, he's just like a skinny guy.
Yeah.
So it's just
he's like us.
Yeah, he's just like us. So you look at this guy, you're like, oh, okay, he's not that big. He can't fight Arnold Schwarzenegger, the kindergarten cop. But he's just he's a sleeker design, but he's better.
Yeah, he's made of liquid metal that somehow has a
consciousness,
consciousness, and can like that part of it doesn't make any sense, but it doesn't matter because it doesn't need to.
It's cool.
Like. You don't have to, overanalyze everything. Like a movie can just be a movie, and just let it wash over you. I bet
someone said that to old Jimmy Cameron somewhere in the process. Like, hey, does it really make sense for liquid metal to have a consciousness and a computer chip in it? And classic Jimmy Cameron, fuck you.
Fuck you.
Yeah. Fuck you, we're doing it. It's gonna look cool.
He did have a set of rules. I forgot the T-1000 had a set of rules. Like he has to touch the thing to be able to copy it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then when he cuts Linda Hamilton on the elevator, I was like, oh my God, that's where he touches her. And so now he can change. I was like, oh my God, I didn't because as a kid, I guess it went over my head that he had to touch things to be able to.
Yeah, the security guard walks over him,
Yep.
but that's not touching him.
The floor too. When
Yeah.
when the floor changed, I was like, oh shit, I forgot he could do that.
Yeah, he's just this amorphous blob that can skewer you through the eyeball. And
if you want to get technical, I don't mean to be a stickler, but the security guard didn't actually touch him. It was his shoe. So, gotcha, James. Gotcha. Sorry.
Oh, he's gonna hear somehow he's gonna hear about this now, and he's gonna come after you.
Oh, he'll only hear about it if Steve talks to him about it.
Oh yeah,
Hi,
we
Steve.
forgot to say hi to Steve. Hi, Steve. Steve Buscemi, our most loyal listener, not viewer.
So Johnny, we have it under good authority that Steve Buscemi listens to the show.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Yes.
No.
So
we're serious.
We say hi
Steve
to him
Buscemi.
every episode.
Hi, Steve.
Hello, Steve.
You're one of my favorite actors. Keep up the good work, buddy.
Johnny loved you in Con Air.
No.
Johnny,
how do you feel about Con Air?
But it's a bad movie.
Oh, good.
Okay. All right. Good. We're on the same page.
Like not even Nick Cage can redeem that film because it's not great.
We also dislike Con Air, and everybody seems to like it, including our previous two guests. So you haven't hopped above them in the list of best guests, but you're inching closer for your dislike of Con Air.
Am I the fourth best guest?
Yeah. So right, you've just for disliking Con Air, now you're the third best guest.
Yes.
He's moving on up. Moving on up.
You've hopped vacant.
I don't want to sound like I'm beating a dead horse, but movies used to have lighting, and this is one of them.
Yes, they did. Movies used to have good lighting.
Lighting is expensive. The economy is in shambles. Just look at what Joe Biden has done to this country.
James Cameron lit the Terminator 2 well in a cave with a box of scraps.
Yeah. The lighting was even good in the Foundry.
Yeah.
I
could see everything that was happening. It
still had the appearance like I could be like, oh, this is a dark, it's a threatening place. But I can still see what's happening.
It's all glowing red.
I know it was hot. I knew it was hot, so that's good.
Yeah.
I like when when the liquid nitrogen is leaking everywhere. Everything's all white because it's cold.
Amen. I also really liked how campy Arnie is in this. He's just he's being a robot that's learning things. And I think Johnny mentioned it earlier, like he goes out with his little minigun and shoots at everybody, and the campiness of the 0.0 casualties. We got this down to a decimal point.
Yeah. You can kill half of a man.
What would 0.1 casualties look like?
Someone with a little bit of brain damage. Yeah, the fact that he just shoots everyone in the knee, it's like they'll live. It's like, you're right, but you just destroyed both of that security guard's decaps. Like, he may never walk again.
I like when little John is like, help, and those guys come to help, like they're gonna be good Samaritans, and John's like, oh, fuck off, and he tells him to beat him up, and he's about to shoot the guy, and he's like, you can't just go around killing people. Why not?
And those sharks are cool. I liked those guys.
Yeah, good for them.
Genuinely nice.
Yeah, good for them. They were coming to help a kid they thought was in trouble.
I get it. Jocks and greasers didn't get along back in the day. I get it, but those are nice jocks.
Yeah, good for them. They're just trying to do something nice for a small child, and look how they were repaid. That man's gonna have a pop in his shoulder for the rest of his life.
Do we want to get into some negative? Because I know there's some negative to be had.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sure.
Does the guest usually lead things off here, or how does it work?
If you want,
we're gonna let you go. Go off, Johnny. You have.
You know what? No, Nick. I think you and I have a very similar complaint, and I feel like maybe you feel more strongly about it than I do. So why don't you go ahead?
Man, it's fucking John Connor. It's John Connor. If you sent me back to 1995 to save this version of John Connor, I would have fucking killed him.
He's like, this is the guy.
Listen,
this is the guy.
There's good child actors, and then there's Edward Furlong.
Mm-hmm. He won an MTV Movie Award for this role. I read.
Oh God! What was who was the competition?
Oh my god, that's what he looks like now. Oh my god.
I remember
Mhm.
watching this, and I'm
Mm.
thinking immediately, this kid's not great. But maybe I'm just being unfair. You know, he's a child. I'll give him some slack. And the movie kept going on. I'm like, he's really not great. And it's really
His
starting to.
2014 mugshot is great though.
I'm like, it's really starting to annoy me. And I think he's supposed to be 10 years old in this. I'm like, this kid is not 10 years old.
Yeah,
13.
And
Oh, he's only
shit.
supposed to be. He's only supposed to be 10.
he's supposed to be 10.
Dude, his voice cracks every 5 seconds.
Yeah, I'm like, this kid's not 10. He doesn't act 10. He doesn't sound 10. He doesn't look 10. And listen, God bless him, but he's not a great actor. And I was willing to be like, well, he's a kid. I'll give him some slack. But like a day after I watched this, I watched another movie with a kid actor, and that kid,
Mhm.
and the kid in it was good. And I was like, oh, I gave Edward Furlong way too much slack.
Yeah, like he could be better, but again, this you can get away with some not so great acting in a movie like this. I think.
He
Um,
he makes
how
the
much?
Stranger Things kids look like fucking Shakespeare.
Hey, those Stranger Thing kids are good.
They're
You ju-
they're really good.
you-
They really grew, especially like season 3 and 4.
At least 4 of them are good.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Pet Cemetery. He was in Pet Cemetery too. I forgot he was in this. I think he's the kid that gets killed. Like there's the bad guy in that movie has a motorcycle. He takes the motorcycle and like kills the kid. He's wearing a scarf, so he like runs the wheel of the motorcycle and pulls the scarf. It's brutal stuff. But maybe he saw T2 and he's like, this kid has to go. Uh,
wow.
it's rough. It's just jarring because especially in the scenes where he's like being really hammy and be like, no, no, no. You gotta say hasta la vista, baby. And even as a kid, I was like, I don't believe this for a fucking minute. This guy's a fucking dweeb.
Yeah, and I mean, like, Johnny's right in that you could get away in a movie like this without the greatest acting. I mean, it's an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, for God's sake. But also, he's really grating.
Yeah, and maybe that was a choice. Maybe like, oh God, this is the kid I got to save, huh? Okay, well,
Yeah, like,
I was sitting here to maybe that is the reason why he has to do whatever John tells him to do, because if he had semi free will, oh, John
Yeah,
would have killed that kid within 5 minutes.
like when I watch an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, I put up with Arnold Schwarzenegger's bad acting because Arnold Schwarzenegger is very charismatic and likable and entertaining, and Edward Furlong is not. So,
No.
so his bad acting is much more irritating to me, and I don't like it.
Maybe it'd be a little less grating if like Sarah Connor was like, John, you're a fucking idiot. Stop being a dipshit. Shut the fuck up. Do you know who you're gonna be one day? And she kind of does that, but if they just had a little bit more, where she's like, you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah, someone
I
needs
wish
to
she'd
toughen
never
him
been
up.
born.
She's too nice for a mom that knows the world's going down.
Yeah, isn't this kid supposed to be some kind of like future Ultimate Warrior badass kind of guy? Like,
Yeah, someone needs
You
to
know.
train him. Arnold needs to train him. What are you doing, man?
You're telling me you don't become the greatest war hero without some neglect from your childhood? Like, come on.
okay,
Come on.
all right. So he's shitty when he's a kid, and then, but that's just him acting out because hey, he's moving from foster home to foster home. He's using some gizmo to rip off people's ATM card, like their debit.
That was the coolest thing he had done. And then he uses the same thing to hack into a supercomputer or a super
Uh-huh.
clock.
Yeah, it all works the same way.
Yeah, what kind of device is that?
Beep boop 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 beep.
He's like, it's locked down, and then he's like, okay, John's gonna do it with his device that gives him the code. It's
It's
locked down, John. It doesn't matter if you have a man that has the fucking code right there.
Yeah, but he's got his little leapfrog hacking device.
He was 1 second from pulling out a fucking power glove and saying it's so bad.
I also love that he stole $300 to go to the arcade.
That was a lot of money back then, Johnny. You shut it. He could have bought one of those machines.
God.
He could have bought the big eraser.
Hell, a few more years, you probably could have bought one of the arcades.
Ooh.
Oh, little Edward. I read on the Wikipedia under reception, people were like, Edward Furlong was praised for his naturalistic act, and I'm like, what are you on about?
Naturalistic?
Like, no, he's fucking
And
annoying. In that he's
and that he
annoying, I
was-
guess.
Yeah, and that he's just you meet Edward Furlong, you're like, oh, he's just like John Connor in the movie.
Just an annoying little child.
That was a low-key insult.
Well, now if you're gonna go with the annoying John Connor of Edward Furlong, then fucking Christian Bale in Salvation better be saying "Hasta la vista, baby." He better be fucking saying the line.
So, okay. But without John Connor saying that, we never get Arnold saying it. So,
This is true. It is a very quotable T2, but also like I think the thumbs up at the end is more iconic than any of the lines. Except for "I'll be back." I think "I'll be back" is probably the most iconic.
I'll be back. Hasta la vista, pretty like I heard that all the fucking time when I was a kid.
People still say it.
Yeah, people still say that.
People still quote The Hangover. Doesn't make it good.
I've never heard anybody quote The Hangover.
Oh man, you weren't in school when Hangover was big, man.
I was in school when The Hangover was big.
Todd Phillips only makes serious movies because he can't make comedies anymore.
What if
that's the thing that he said?
What if we pissed them off in the sequel?
Sounds great. Sounds like a great idea. Oh man,
you know how James Cameron makes really good sequels. What if I did the opposite?
Todd Phillips is the inverse James Cameron. Is that what you're saying?
Hot take.
I mean,
Joker's $ minus.
Hey, he made Old School. How dare he?
Old School is not.
Is that his only good movie?
I liked The Hangover when it came out. I've not seen it in a very long time. Nor have I seen the sequels.
You know what? I don't mind Due Date.
Due Date is fun. I saw
Due Date in theaters. Yeah,
I like Due Date.
I haven't been big on road trip movies lately, but Due Date is one that kind of sticks with you because I don't know, the chemistry between the two leads just is really good.
Yeah,
it reminds me a lot of Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
That's a movie I haven't seen in quite some time. I should watch that soon.
You don't watch that every year for Thanksgiving? What kind of man are you?
Another issue I have with
No Kind of Man.
No Kind of Man. He's a dad, damn it. He ain't got time for that. Another issue I've got with T2 is that T1000 disappears for like 30 minutes.
Oh,
yep.
This is the most agonizing 30 minutes.
The whole sequence where they run away to the desert and then Linda Hamilton goes and almost kills that man. She unloads 2 full magazines into his office and somehow does not land a shot on him until she's like 5 feet away.
It's comical how he keeps getting away. Like he ducks the first time and his computer screen's gone.
He had plot armor until he didn't.
Yeah. Just this. Is it like I don't even know how long. Like it's 30 minutes, but it felt like an hour to me without Robert Patrick. I'm like, bring back Robert Patrick. Where's Robert Patrick? I want to start shouting at my screen, where's Robert Patrick? Where's Robert Patrick?
When are they going to get to the fireworks factory?
Yeah, that whole side mission to go get the old T-800s, stuff from the first movie, just felt like it was just kind of there. Like, we can prolong, we can. We have a chance.
I'm James Cameron. I don't make 90-minute pictures. I only make 2-hour plus pictures.
We need to buff this picture up. Hear me?
I don't even mind him making that sequence, but like have Robert Patrick in it somehow.
Yeah, he should have.
He should have showed up. Yeah, like he should have been walking through the smoldering remains of the. It would make sense for him to be one of the cops that's waiting outside.
He should have been doing something. He just disappears for a very long time.
He was trying to find him. He kept going to places they had just left.
And it's
like, God damn it!
It's a very noticeable absence.
That's the director's cut.
His presence
he popped up to say nice bike, and then he's still gone for like another 15-20 minutes after that moment.
his presence is greatly missed.
Yeah. I agree.
It's terrifying.
It becomes more noticeable every time I watch this movie. That I'm like, okay, come on, let's get back. Let's get the scary robot man to come after them again. because those are the best moments when they're running for their lives, because it really does feel like they just by the skin of their teeth, are able to
Yeah,
beat
and
this thing.
when he's not around, there's so much less tension because I'm like, I know that these regular ass cops aren't gonna do anything to a fucking Terminator. Like,
Yeah.
I know they're gonna get
Oh.
away.
You mean when he's walking into the lobby of the building and just like
Yeah,
taking these shots and his flesh is peeling from his face, and then he finally gets close enough, they start popping him in the knee.
yeah. Like
Okay, but think about how terrifying that is from the cops' perspective, because they're used to,
well, good for them. Yeah, they're used to getting 2 shots on an unarmed black man and calling it a day.
yeah, like they're going after toll skippers, like they, some metal man coming after them, shooting him in the knee. They're gonna have to go on paid leave.
Yeah, well, good for them.
God.
They got what they deserved, but like I know they're not going to do anything to him, so I'm like, okay, whatever. I clearly he's not going to kill them. They're not going to kill him. So where the fuck is Robert Patrick? That's all I'm thinking.
I do love that before they knew he was a Terminator or a robot, 50 men shot at him at the same time. Like a bit much. Do they not teach trigger discipline at the academy anymore? What's going on here?
I love the SWAT guys who just come in and just blast poor Joe Morton. Just they blow him away.
Oh my God! Yeah,
immediately. They don't know.
I feel like
they don't know he could be a hostage. They don't see if he's armed, if he's shooting back. Just they come in the door blasting. They see a black guy with his hands up and just start shooting.
Did you recognize? I think the squad leader, or the sergeant, whoever was in charge. Do you know who that actor was? Did you recognize him?
Oh, was there a cameo?
Who was
It was
it?
Dean Norris.
Was it?
Dean Norris, aka Hank. Yeah.
Oh no! Was this?
Yep.
This must have been before he started collecting minerals.
It was. He also was in an episode of The X-Files.
That makes sense.
I do love that man.
There are so many actors that you would recognize in The X-Files if you've not seen it. Like Jack Black is in an episode of The X-Files. That's where Bryan Cranston and Vince Gilligan met, was on The X-Files. Fantastic show.
I do want to go watch The X-Files because it does sound like a lot of like prestige TV that followed like the next 10 years kind of came from that writer's room.
Oh my God, it's amazing. The first like 6 seasons of that show are incredible.
And then what happened?
Then David Duchovny leaves, and it's not as good.
You know what? I think that's the only season of the show I've actually watched because I think my parents watched
What?
it.
Oh my God. Okay, no, go back and watch the first 5 seasons, please.
So it used to be
incredible
on
television,
Sundays, right? It would be like
Yeah.
The Simpsons and then X-Files. So my parents would let me watch The Simpsons, and then the X-Files. They were like, "It's too spooky. Go to bed, little boy." And then
that theme song still gives me like just like
yeah, just thinking about it, I'm like, is there something wrong?
Yeah.
With it?
It's all on Hulu. I would gladly make you guys like a list of episodes, like standalone Monster of the Weeks, that you don't need to worry about the deep lore or whatever, but also the overarching story that happens there is also quite good. But yeah,
Can you be one of those people that gives us a list of episodes that we can skip because they're filler episodes that don't matter?
Yeah. I can absolutely do that. I've seen the first 5 seasons 2 or 3 times, I think. It's a great show.
Are they half-hour episodes or hour?
Hour.
Okay, all right.
I didn't watch it until I was also an adult, and I would watch one episode every day during my break when I worked at Apple still.
22 episodes in a season?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and I'm sold.
Yeah. Perfect television.
Yeah, that's when TV was real.
Yeah.
When everything was shot on location and not in a green screen room.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good. Now I'm the one getting us off track. Look at me go.
Do you have any more negatives?
I do.
T2?
Yeah, let's hear it, Matt. What's your negative?
I don't like her narration.
Does it evoke a little bit of Harrison Ford's narration in Blade Runner? Like the audience is too stupid to know what's going on, or we can't find another way to cram these plot details in here.
Well, yes, but here's the thing. It bugs me more than it bugs me in Blade Runner because James Cameron is not subtle, right? Like we talk about this when we talk about Aliens. He can, he writes a very economical script, but the man does not believe in subtext. Like it's all there.
I know writers that use subtext, and they're all cowards.
Right? Like that's Jimmy Cameron, and so like you don't have to be. I don't think you need to have an intellectual level above maybe a 6-year-old to really understand what his movies are about. So to have Sarah Connor narrating this and just tell you, like she's narrating, like she's narrating well. She's looking at the Terminator and John Connor, and she's just narrating to you. Oh, it's nice that he finally has a father figure. Like I can't fucking see that for myself. The thing that's very obviously happening on screen.
You dumb. You dumb mouth breathing American. You'll never be able to figure this out on your own.
Like I'm all for thinking that audiences are dumb because most of them are, but like you have to be really dumb to not get what's going on in this movie, and that's what her narration does. Like this narration,
John, he doesn't have a dad.
This narration,
I know he's having a catch with the Terminator. That's I see.
All this narration does.
Learn the value of life. Maybe humanity can too.
Yeah. The only way it could have been more obvious is if the T-800 and John Connor were having a catch.
Yeah, like all this narration does is say to me, okay, James Cameron, you put this in so the 5-year-olds can know what's going on, because why? I don't need, I'm not, audiences are dumb. I don't think they're that dumb.
Well,
how good of a father figure was he? He left John Connor with Sarah Connor. What do you think? They're gonna walk into the sunset? No, they're gonna be on the run the rest of their lives still. Yeah, good father figure, Arnie.
I'm sure he's just going to the store for a pack of smokes. He'll be right back.
No, he was going to interview maids.
I don't have any other negatives. I find, like you, Nick, I find John a little grating, but it's fine because that's not why I'm there. I'm here for the spec on. Yeah.
I like John Connor and T3 better anyway. Back on the positives. You know what a big positive for me was on this one? And I don't know if this is going to carry through in the mic, but
oh, of course.
Yeah.
I love that whole opening credit sequence is incredible. I love a good opening credits.
It sets the tone for the whole film. It lets you know, like, hey, you ready to get your fucking balls knocked off by this action fest that we're about to subject you to?
My love of cinema comes from James Bond, so I'm a big believer that every movie should have an opening credit sequence. Because
absolutely. Because
first of all, they're really like a good opening credit sequence is a sight to behold, as this movie demonstrates. Because this is a great opening credit sequence. The incredible song, the flames in the background as the fucking Terminator face.
It's an art form unto itself.
Comes in. Yeah, it's incredible. It pumps you up.
Yeah, it lets you know, like, hey, we're not fucking around.
Yeah.
We're gonna fuck some shit up.
You're locked in. You're locked in immediately.
Yeah, like a bad opening credit can put a bad taste in your mouth. At least for me, I'm like, oh, this fucking sucks already. Like, why am I going to watch the rest of this piece of dog shit movie?
Yeah,
like if the opening credits are terrible.
Yeah, like that Sam Smith James Bond movie song. You're like, oh, bad song. This movie's gonna suck. But
which one is that?
Spectre?
Is it Spectre?
I haven't seen Spectre.
You're not missing much.
I thought Billie Eilish did Spectre.
No, she did No Time to Die.
I haven't seen that one either. I've only seen Casino Royale is the only Daniel Craig one I've seen.
Oh, well, that's the best one, but
Quantum of Solace is
I really liked it.
Quantum of Solace, people give Quantum of Solace shit.
No, I've seen that one. I've seen that one.
I think Quantum of Solace is pretty good, especially considering they made it with no script because the writers were on strike.
Right. It's super stylistic. I just like the look of it.
Yeah. Skyfall's good. Spectre, fucking nothing. Just a boring, too long movie where nothing happens. Much like the terrible song. No Time to Die is good.
I can't wait for Kraven the Hunter to become James Bond. I'm excited about that.
Oh no, is that happening?
He might, or everyone might see Kraven, or nobody will see Kraven, and they'll be like, I don't think this guy's our James Bond.
They should have given it to Idris Elba before he's too old now.
He's too old now. He would have been good. He would have been good, but Daniel Craig was still doing it. So
I know. Man, now I just want to watch some Bond films. There's so many I haven't seen.
Maybe when 28 Days Later comes out, they'll be like, you know what? He's our guy again. Forget about Kraven.
Yeah.
There we go.
Another thing I really liked about this movie, T2, in case you were wondering, in case you forgot between all the bullshit. The way they use tension from the first movie to kind of build up tension throughout this movie. So Linda
Mhm.
Hamilton thinks T-800's the one coming for.
Oh,
Oh
we have
yeah.
she's great. Like the whole escape sequence for her that coincides with the T-1000 showing up. Like she just happens to be breaking out the night that he is coming for her.
Listen,
Uh,
the way she just sits and takes that guy licking her face.
Yeah, because she has a plan and she's gonna stick to it. And
Yeah, that was part of her plan actually.
to get her face licked.
She's like, okay, step 1, creepy orderly licks my face. Don't do anything. Step 2, escape.
Yeah, she wrote it down.
Yeah.
Right, it's 8:00, so normally it's time for my 8:00 licking. Okay, all right. Now it's breaking.
It's a good thing they didn't check for contraband that night because they would have found a slip of paper with those 2 steps on it.
Why does this paper say that you lick her at 8:00?
That's right on
Listen,
time.
Gentlemen, she's a liar. I'd lick her at 8:15.
Yeah.
All right, guys, look, there's been complaints. You need to stop licking the patients while they're awake.
Yes, do it while they're in a deep slumber.
We sedate them, for Christ's sakes. Come on.
Did
Get
you
me out of
all
this
forget
bit.
where you put your chloroform rags?
The lick comes out of nowhere. The lick does
Yeah,
come out of nowhere. It's like, wait, did they say this guy was creepy before?
No, that's his first time on screen. Just licking her.
And then the doctor's
So
just kind of an
There's
asshole.
got to be a cut scene in there somewhere.
I like to believe that wasn't even in the script. James Cameron just thought of it on the day. All right, who wants to lick her face?
Yeah, I'll do it.
One of the extras like, do I get more money?
Yeah,
No, it was a PA. It was just
Yeah.
so they, like 100 people raise their hands. Okay, how many of you are non-union? 50 people lower their hands.
Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna get health insurance out of this deal. Yeah.
No, you're not.
What were we talking about?
We're ending the likes dislikes. I think.
The escape scene. Yeah, great scene.
Yeah, fantastic. Well done.
Yeah. Oh, Nick was talking about how the tension. Oh yeah, because when the Terminator shows up, you're like, oh, he's gonna kill this kid,
Right.
and then he
And then
doesn't.
he doesn't.
Yeah, and it's great. You're like, oh, the cop is the bad guy. What a twist.
Get down. And then
I
he
did-
turns and yeah. Oh, so good.
And I did like the dynamic that Sarah had been telling John all of this stuff. Like this could have in a worse movie, John would have no idea. It's like, who's this guy in a motorcycle chasing me? But no, Sarah was like, hey, robots are coming, Sonny. You gotta be careful. And then she got
Listen,
thrown.
she did. That's good parenting.
That's
actually
good parenting. Unlike his foster parents, who open the door and see a large, muscled biker man looking for their child with no explanation. Now he's not home right now. And then a cop comes looking for their child. Now he's not home right now. A big biker guy was also looking for him. Just a day in the life. Just no concern. No. Why are you looking for him? Just no.
Listen,
a big
John
biker guy came
causes
also.
a lot of headaches. Okay.
Terrible.
What do you do now? What do you do now?
They're only doing this because they get money from the government.
Just terrible foster parents.
Yeah, they were not. Yeah, they were bad eggs. They had to go. I'm just sad we never got to find out what happened to Wolfie. That's another thing I like. They trick the T-1000 with a fake dog name. You never think they're gonna use a fake dog name, but they do.
That's the oldest trick in the book.
Yeah, a fake dog name.
What's wrong with Wolfie?
Your foster parents are dead.
Just the bluntness. Yeah, Arnold's bluntness and like delivering like devastating news.
So it's like, oh, okay, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I kind of fucking hated them anyway.
I think Arnold is a better actor than people give him credit for. Like when he's in like he was very good. He was always very good at picking like roles that suited his skill set and directors that like worked with him well. And when he's on, man, like I think he's not a good actor per se, but like I would say like there's not a single role where he's bad.
I'd rather watch him than a lot of other people.
Yeah.
You know, like
I would.
He's an icon for a reason.
I put him. This sounds crazy. I put him in the same category as like Denzel. in terms of like if he's in the
What?
movie. In terms of like
okay.
if
All right.
he's in the
Mhm.
movie, I'm probably going to be entertained.
Just by his sheer
Yeah.
presence. Yeah, I get that.
You walk by True Lies is not why I have to sit down. I have to sit down and watch True Lies.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
like
He climbs on top of a Harrier jet.
Dude, that fucking movie.
I've seen like lesser Arnold movies where I was still like, this is pretty good still, right?
Yeah,
like,
even some of the shit he's done recently, it's like it's still Arnold though.
yeah, like even
get
like a
that.
lesser Arnold movie like Eraser, he still fucking kills a giant alligator and says your luggage. So I'm like, is this really that bad? No.
No.
You did not say erase it. He says you've been erased at the end. You can't say that's a bad movie.
Yeah, like
can't-
even his like not great lesser roles are like I'm still like it's kind of an Arnold movie's kind of like pizza. You're
Yeah.
not going to be disappointed.
Even the bad ones still, it's fine.
God,
Yeah.
his Wikipedia page is so huge because it's got all of his fucking bodybuilding wins. It's got his fucking political races. You have to scroll like fucking 20 pages to get to his filmography.
What an accomplished gentleman. He should run for president.
He should.
He can't.
He's gonna be in Kung Fury 2.
Of
Oh.
course he is.
So his last movie is Terminator: Dark Fate. I guess he took a break during COVID. He was
Well, he's
very
got a
chill
show on.
during-
He's doing a show on Netflix now, which is also pretty good, actually.
Is his daughter in that? I think his daughter. It's Fubar, right? Fubar.
Yeah, it's not his
Yeah.
real daughter. She plays his daughter.
That's right. We've had this conversation before.
Yeah,
I'm like, wait a minute. Matt's told me this before. What movie? He was. Oh, Escape Plan was the one that he was in right after he got out of politics.
yeah.
that's
that one's not
space-
bad.
Him and Sly are in a space prison.
Yeah, that one. It's not. Is it a space prison? I think it's like an underwater prison.
That makes it even more badass. It's like Rapture.
Yeah, it's
Just
cool.
gonna say.
That's an okay movie. He's in a movie with Johnny Knoxville. He was after his retirement. It's pretty good. I don't remember the name of it. He's like a small town sheriff because of course he is.
Johnny Knoxville is pretty badass though. Like a good actor, like very underrated, very
Yeah.
underappreciated. Johnny Knoxville in that reboot movie, he was like a on the wagon, off the wagon alcoholic. And
I need to go collect the dogs real quick that are in the bedroom. So I'll be right back.
Okay,
I apologize.
that's fine. That's staying in, by the way. I don't edit these.
The Last Stand. Okay, so yeah, here's
Oh,
the,
is that it? The
I-
Last Stand?
I didn't know this was a movie. This might
Yeah.
have to,
That's a pretty good movie. I have it on the list. I have it on the list for the future wheel.
because
I think.
Arnold's the poster is Arnold with a minigun and Johnny Knoxville staring like, "When's my turn?"
Yeah,
Really good. And Johnny Knoxville's wearing like
He's like
pilot
a-
headgear for some reason.
yeah. He's like an old town. He's like a small town sheriff in like Americana, like a small American town. I think Johnny Knoxville's his deputy, or maybe he's
Sure.
not his deputy. Maybe he just wants to be. I don't remember who Johnny Knoxville is, but Johnny Knoxville's like I don't know, like a weird guy in town.
Okay, he was in the Expendables, The Kid and I, Around the World in 80 Days. He was in that Around the World in 80 Days movie. Jeez Louise, that movie was bad.
I think it was just a cameo.
Yeah, you're right.
All right, I'm back.
All right.
He's back. Any
Got-
other
got-
positives? Puppy.
Got Henry the dog here with me. That was all for me. I think I mentioned everything.
Yeah. What do I have left? We talked about Arnold, great. We talked about Robert Patrick. We talked about the score. We talked about the set pieces. Have we talked about the effects yet?
Like the explosion in the middle of the film where Linda Hamilton's skin is blasted off of her fucking bones.
Yeah, or the T-1000. It was
Yeah.
like very ground. Like that's the other old Jimmy
Even
C.
yeah, like the CGI in this. I think there's like maybe like one wonky. I think there's like one scene where I was like, okay, that looks a little wonky, but for the most part, like it looks good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
what-
Considering how long ago it was made,
For 91, like when he walks through those bars, like
Mhm.
that's pretty seamless.
and his nightstick gets caught between the bar. Like it's
when he
very
like
well done.
when he's like his head is like when he's like split in half and he like reattaches himself,
Mm-hmm.
like
Or when he
it-
pulls the bar out from his side.
It looks good.
yeah, like it looks
Never bet
good.
against Jimmy.
Never bet
against Jimmy when there's like liquid CGI involved. He's proven that again and again.
Yeah. Just never bet against Jimmy Cameron. I think that's a lesson that we're going to learn over the course of this
Until-
podcast.
Until it's over.
Yeah. Until he dies on the set of Avatar 8.
Oh no. Get done with the avatars, Jimmy. Come on, you got some other stuff in you, man.
I think
No, he doesn't.
he's got 3 more. He's got like 2 or 3 more avatars in him.
He's gonna be 80 by the time that last one comes out. Ugh.
That's how old is George Miller? He made Furiosa. Jimmy Cameron will have one more in him after Avatar's finished.
You would think so, but then Zaslav, whoever's running it, it'll be a limited release. Nobody will see it. James Cameron's last movie. It's gonna be in 10 theaters.
Well, no, James Cameron's with Disney now because Fox.
Yeah.
So they'll release it and make another $1 billion.
Tiger will unretire again and be like, "We're only putting this out in 5 theaters, Jimmy. I'm sorry."
I think James Cameron's gonna make like some action masterpiece at the age of 90.
He might. I wouldn't put it past him.
Oh, look, Ridley Scott's 84 and he just made Gladiator 2. George Miller is 80 something. He just made Furiosa. These old guys.
Scorsese's in his 80s and he just made maybe his best film.
Yeah, these old guys are showing the young folk how it's done.
Yeah, they've only gotten better at their craft in some cases.
Yeah, so James Cameron's going to finish the Avatar movies at the ripe old age of 80, and he's going to make like 3 more masterpieces.
The last positive I have, and I kind of hinted at it when we talked about the LA River. First half of this movie, very LA-ass movie. Yeah. And I like that. Better than Ambulance, at least.
How dare you?
I'm telling you, you're gonna watch it one day on your couch. It's gonna come on TNT, and you're gonna be like, "I was wrong. It was the plane that made me hate this movie."
I don't have cable, so I won't be watching TNT.
How do you call yourself a dad if you don't watch movies on TNT?
How do you watch your syndicated reruns?
Yeah.
There are these free channels that are on my Samsung television, and one of them plays Magnum PI all the time. Another one plays.
Are these legitimate free channels that play these things all the time? Because I also have channels that play these things all the time, but I wouldn't exactly call them legitimate.
They seem made up. Like it just I don't know how they got the license for this stuff, but it's through the Samsung.
Oh, okay.
Stuff. So it's somehow being licensed.
I have similar channels, but it's they're not obtained legitimately.
Oh no, I don't have that.
No.
Oh hey, T2 won a bunch of Oscars for their effects. Look at that. Look at them. They
good
got
for
the
them.
recognition.
Yeah. Good for them. All right.
They got the recognition they deserved.
All right. What are we rating this movie, folks?
I would probably put it at like an 80, just because the T1000 disappears. And then
is that your dad rating or is that your personal rating?
Oh, I'm sorry, personal rating stars. This is stars. I would give it 4.5.
4.5.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay, we're all in agreement. 4.5.
And then dad.
Yes.
Yeah. So Dad, Nick says 80% dad movie. That's what you were getting at?
We're doing dad movie. I'd say it's probably like an 85, and I think once again, it's Furlong that brings the score down because you're just like, the kid's talking again. I'm gonna mute this.
Yeah. I might go a little higher and say it's a 90. But I do think it depends on when a dad starts watching this. Like if they start watching it from the beginning, like they're locked in. I'm gonna say, like they're locked in immediately from the song, the opening, the future sequence. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, they're like, oh, this is what I'm doing today.
Well, my afternoon's set.
Yeah, but if they were like, if they walked in and it was on TV and Edward Furlong was speaking, maybe like, right, or if it was, and I don't know, it depends really to me. I want to say closer to 90, but maybe I'll go 85 because it depends on how much any given dad can tolerate the 30 minutes of no Robert Patrick.
Yeah, I think 85 is fair for the dad score.
General consensus.
Oh, is this the first time we've ever had a general consensus with a guest?
I think so.
Oh,
look at you, and it's Johnny of all people.
Yeah, wow. He's one of the most disagreeable people we know.
That is not true. I hope.
Okay, yeah. So it's 85% dad certified. Official dad movie. I mean, we knew it was a dad movie going in.
We knew it was.
This is one of the ones. This is one of the ones we knew going in. This is, of course, a dad movie. Sometimes we don't know.
But you know what we do know? You know what I know? It's now time for my favorite segment.
Yes.
we call this Negative Nancy's, right? Sorry, we had a really long break, so I'm forgetting
Yeah,
the name of this.
it is the Negative Nancy's of the week. This is where we read you an IMDb goof of the movie that was written by some goof who doesn't know how to watch movies correctly.
I picked out a very good one. I'm excited to read.
Okay.
You go first, Johnny. Guest honor.
This is by Director 03, posted August 31st, 2001.
Oh, God.
1 out of 10. One of my personal least favorites of all time. This is a terrible, terrible movie. Let's start with the script. It is lame and does not feature one great line. Next, the special effects. These are all good and fine, but stuff blowing up does not a movie make. The emotion, if you can, the listeners can hear my quotes in my voice. This movie is in no way touching or anything else that, as the back cover would make you believe. The plot. There's some kind of plot, but mostly it's just there so we can get to the special effects. And finally, the acting. The acting is atrocious, all caps. The John O'Connor kid, not his name, is so amazingly bad that I muted this movie every time he started talking. A high-pitched kid swearing and trying to act big and bad is the last thing I am entertained by. Arnold Schwarzenegger and John O'Connor's mother, again, not his name, put on performances not quite as bad as the kid, but close. I do not see how anyone could like this movie, but apparently some people do. They can have their opinions, but I personally believe that there's not a single redeeming value about this quote-unquote film.
Oh, God. I'm just picturing a little, Irish kid now, little John O'Connor.
John O'Connor.
You know what they say hasta la vista.
Faith and Bagora.
Hasta la vista to me
there.
Lucky Charms.
Be a completely different movie if you're Irish.
Maybe it might be a better movie.
Then he would.
Then it would be 5 stars.
Why don't you want to be my friend anymore, Arnold?
I love that he called him John O'Connor twice.
I don't want to save you anymore, John Connor.
Oh, okay.
23 years that's been sitting on that website.
Oh, God. Whoever wrote that should go back and delete it.
What was the date on that? This was posted just days before 9/11. Days.
Well, now we know why they did it.
You think they went back and they reassessed? Maybe I was too harsh.
No, Al Qaeda read that review and was like, "America must be stopped."
That's true.
Get the planes now.
this one person's review.
I've got a goof. Here. I sent a few. Which one was? Oh, the liquid nitrogen truck drags across the road for much longer than its momentum would realistically allow. I want to stuff this motherfucker in a locker.
I want to
stuff this motherfucker in a locker.
I want to stuff him in a tank full of liquid nitrogen.
Listen, the momentum's just not there. It wouldn't go that far.
Imagine watching that scene and being
it's a movie.
Imagine watching that scene and he comes out and he's covered in liquid nitrogen and he shatters into a bazillion pieces, and the only thing going through your head is, on further calculations, I don't think that truck would have gone that far.
This man made of liquid metal.
The momentum would not have sustained it based on the weight and speed it was going.
I can abide a lot of nonsense, but that really pushed it.
Based on 80 technology, I don't think that the technology would be there, the science would be there for the T-800 to exist in that time frame that they're predicting. Actually, by my calculations, the T-800 wouldn't exist until about 2050.
I think, and I don't know.
Stop talking.
I don't know if this is true. We can never know because these goofs don't have usernames attached to them. But I'm just going to assume that was Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Yeah. Anytime someone tries to ruin something for me, I just assume
it's Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Actually, that's not how this guy would have looked at that point in time.
Everyone's favorite scientist and party pooper, all in one.
Okay, here's mine. This one, thank God, has 10 downvotes, although it has 1 upvote, so I want to kill that person. This person's helpful note on this movie. It doesn't make any sense for a mass of metal to be conscious and in human form or be able to walk, and even less sense for the separate pools to be able to come back together after it was frozen, shot to pieces, then melted.
There wouldn't be a fucking movie, you dipshit. You dipshit.
In the words of old Jimmy Cameron, go fuck yourself.
Just
in the world.
If you should stop.
I want to imagine the person who wrote that was the same person who wrote the one from. You had one a few episodes back where it was like they did this thing, but I guess if they did the other thing, there wouldn't be a movie.
Oh, I remember that one. I don't remember what it was, but I remember what you're talking about.
I want to imagine there's that guy is writing that, like writing something something stupid because it's a fucking movie, and then saying, but then I guess it wouldn't be a movie.
Remember the one from Aliens when the guy was like, when they're typing in the code on the panel, it's raining, and the thing would not work if it was raining, even though it's a cool shot.
It's
like
wet.
yeah, that's why they did it, because it's a cool shot.
Great.
You fucking
Yeah.
Nimrod. Oh, so you're telling so IMDb person, you're telling me that in the movie about robots being sent back from the future to kill a child so an AI can win the war against humans, you're telling me in that movie where you draw the line is a liquid mass of metal that becomes a killer robot? That's where you draw the line?
Yes, god damn it.
You fucking
I didn't read all these because I didn't want to get pissed off and like ruin my day. But did anyone mention that there's a time paradox in this movie? Did anyone were they like, actually, if he destroyed the arm, then he would have never gone back and none of this would have happened?
I think when I was skimming through, I read one where they were like, oh, there's a scene in the movie where it shows John Connor's birthday as being this date, but if he's 10 years old in this movie and the war on humans begins on this date, then his age is actually incorrect.
Don't worry, they fixed it all in Genesis and Dark Fate. Don't worry. Everything that was wrong with all these movies, they fixed in those later ones.
They fixed it in post.
Just never watch movies again, people. If that's how you're going to watch movies, just maybe movies aren't for you.
I do love that this series is basically like, they can essentially, like, if there's something they don't like in any of these movies, they can just send somebody back in a future movie and make it like, well, now T3 doesn't matter because we canceled it all because we killed this guy at this point. Like, it is kind of fun that they can just fuck around and do that. No other series can really do that.
It's a shame they've never done that in a good way, though.
Right. Hey, we went back and recast Furlong.
In the next Terminator movie, the Terminator's gonna go back in time and force James Cameron to cast a better child.
Wait, was he a Nepo baby?
Oh, I remember seeing an interview with James Cameron where he was like saying for Titanic, Leo came in and was like, oh, actually, I don't read for parts. And he was like, well, then you're not going to be in my movie because I have to know that if you're going to be in my movie and be the main character, that you're the right person. And I'm looking at that, I'm listening to this interview and I'm thinking, yeah, but you cast Edward Furlong, buddy.
Maybe that's why he has that rule now. He's like, well, you know what? Furlong didn't read either, and that really fucked me.
Maybe. Okay. Well, enough of these stupid fucking piss ants. Let's get on to a good segment. Let's share our fatherly jokes.
Johnny, do you have a fatherly joke?
I've been sitting here trying to think of one this whole time, and you, I got nothing right now. So if you guys go, maybe it'll inspire me.
I'll do mine first because it's very bad. What do you call a depressed Terminator?
What?
A cyborg.
I hate you. I came up with this one on the spot. If it's bad, I'm sorry. You ready? There's nothing subtle about a Jimmy Cameron film, but this movie's very tongue-on-cheek.
Oh,
that might be the only good dad joke you've ever told on this podcast.
To be honest, it's a segment I constantly forget about and have to do. I have to improvise.
My strategy is if by an hour before recording I haven't thought of a joke, I Google bad puns.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
That's what a dad would do, though.
Yeah.
You're ready. You just have to have a kid now.
Okay. What? Oh my God. I was gonna make like an abortion joke.
We don't do those. We don't do those on this podcast.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Like an unemployed Terminator goes to work at Planned Parenthood and he's like, "Congratulations, your pregnancy's been terminated." I don't know.
Good enough. Good enough.
That's
They send the T-800 back to convince Sarah Connor to go to plan. Hey, we can help you.
The,
We can take
next
care of that.
the next Terminator movie. It's the next Terminator movie is Abortion Cop.
oh my god.
From the people that brought you Terminator 2 and the man who starred in Kindergarten Cop comes the hit new blockbuster Abortion Cop.
This pregnancy's been terminated.
You've been erased.
It's not
Oh
a
my
fetus.
Not fetus.
Oh, okay. Well, before we end things, it's time for the segment we only do when there's a guest, which means we've done it many times, twice. We've done it twice before. It's time for the dad questionnaire.
I'm excited for these answers.
Yeah, Johnny, I'm going to ask you 12 questions. You're going to give me
Okay,
the first answer that pops into your head, your gut answer, straight from the heart.
let's do it.
And I'm not going to give you the results, but all the listeners are going to hear your answers, and based on your answers, they will judge how dad
Mhm.
you are.
Okay.
Okay. Now, and bear in mind, every one of these questions does have a correct and incorrect answer.
Okay. All right. I'm a little nervous now, but
All right. Here we go. Question 1. Do you think you could land an airplane in an emergency?
yes.
Okay. Question 2. What is your favorite action movie?
Mad Max Fury Road.
Okay. Question 3. What is your remote drop movie?
My remote drop movie.
Yes, the movie that when you see it on TV, you drop the remote and watch it.
Oh, probably Goodfellas.
Question 4.
First one comes to mind.
How often do you think of the Roman Empire?
You know, given that I am an American and I think about it quite a bit, but probably not in the context that some people do. Like I'm not a weirdo about it.
You're just thinking about it as in like, oh, what was this other crumbling empire like?
Yeah. Like you look at how the parallels between empires that rise and fall, and I don't know. Also, yeah, it's just interesting history. I love history, so obviously I find Roman history interesting because they controlled so much of the world.
Okay, question
I'm gonna stop
5.
talking. 'Cause I'm
Question 5. Have you
Yeah.
watched a movie standing up? And if so, what's the longest you've lasted before sitting?
yes, I have, but I could not tell you like how long. I feel like Aliens is a movie I've definitely watched like at least part of the time standing up. It also just depends on the movie. Like sometimes I've watched a movie on my computer monitor and stood the whole time.
For the whole movie?
I think so. I did that today actually for most of Terminator because I
Oh,
watched it
Okay.
on my computer monitor while I had my standing desk configured. So I had that thought as I was watching it. It's like, oh hey.
So you just have like a dad movie setup ready to go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, at all times. Also, I'm just an incredibly fidgety person. It's hard for me to sit still for long periods of time. So I tend to get up and move around and do that already. And since becoming a father, like it's just amplified.
Okay, question 6. If you were stranded on a desert island, what movie would you want with you?
Jurassic Park.
Question 7. If a loved one was kidnapped, which movie character would you most emulate while attempting a dare and rescue?
For some reason, I wanted to say Harrison Ford in The Fugitive, but that's improving his innocence. But also, he does a lot of subject, like he's able to accomplish his mission in that film. So I think I could emulate Harrison Ford in The Fugitive. I could evade the authorities and achieve my goal.
Yeah, look, you don't have to pick a character who did a dare and rescue. So you're allowed to pick that. I'm not going to tell if it was correct or not.
Fuck.
Question 8, and this is a new question that I just added recently. So you'll be the first one to answer this. Do you let other people touch the thermostat?
Yeah. Well, yes, because we have a Nest thermostat and my wife has the Google Home app on her phone, so she's able to control it as well. But I go in and adjust it to the temperature that I want, and then pretend I feign ignorance the next day. I'm like, oh, I don't know how that happened. It must be on a schedule or something. She's not going to listen to this podcast. There's zero risk of her ever hearing this information. So,
Question 9. What is your favorite movie quote?
oh God, why are you doing this to me? No, what in God's holy name are you blathering about? Is what I'm going to say.
Okay.
Even though it's probably a Walter Sobchak quote, if I thought harder about it.
Question.
It's my fucking undies, dude. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
You want a toe? I can get you a toe. I can get you a toe by 3
Get your
o'clock.
toe.
With nail
I'm
polish.
staying.
I'm staying. I'm finishing my coffee.
Oh my God, what a great performance. Please continue.
Okay. Who is the coolest movie character?
Indiana Jones.
Okay. Question 11. What is your favorite dad joke?
How much? I don't know if this qualifies as a dad joke or not. Actually, no, it does. It definitely does. How do you sell a deaf person a chicken?
How?
Hey, you want to buy a chicken? I can't yell as loud as I normally would, but.
Okay. And the final question, the most important question, and the only question without an incorrect answer. What is the best Tom Cruise movie?
Probably Collateral or MI5 or 6, maybe. But yeah, I think Collateral is probably my favorite Tom Cruise performance.
We did an episode. We ranked all of our episodes for season 1, and we ranked Collateral number 1.
We do this for a living.
It's a great movie. I've only seen it one time, but it stuck with me after I saw it. It's a fantastic film.
All right, that is the end of the dad questionnaire. Now all the listeners know exactly how dad you are based on their own interpretations of your many answers that may or may not have been correct.
All right.
Matt, I'm not telling you how to edit the episode, but if you could, just turn him up when he screams or when he says you want to buy a chicken. It'll be all distorted.
Okay, so really quick aside. I used to tell that joke quite a bit. And whenever I worked at the Apple Store, there was like a tornado warning or something, and we all had to go like down to the basement. And people were kind of tense. And so the person next to me, I said that joke, and it wasn't just people that I knew down there. It was like people from all of the stores in the mall. And it was deathly quiet when I shouted, "Hey, you want to buy a chicken?" And everyone just kind of looked in my direction like, what the fuck is wrong with that guy? And that's maybe the happiest time I ever had when I worked at the Apple Store, because it was a terrible, terrible place.
The happiest memory of you working at the Apple Store was when you were in a tornado bunker.
Yeah, because I didn't have to help anybody, and I told it. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Wow, so they're just giving that title to anybody these days.
Hey, man. Yes. Yes, they are. I haven't worked there for almost 6 years, but I worked there for nearly 9. So it is. I would gladly regale you with tales of retail horror anytime you want to hear about them.
Why is it that the people that are worse with technology all buy Macs?
Because it's more intuitive and easy to use.
Really?
Really?
I
Yeah.
don't know. My dad has had his iPhone for a very long time. He's very confused.
You know what? Not everyone
he's
is
very
gonna...
confused. He's had it for years and years, and he's still confused.
Well, I mean, he has you for a son. Of course he's confused. He's like, look at this fucking guy. This is my progeny right here.
You know what? He used to be less
really mean.
I used to confuse
sorry, I didn't mean to come
at
you like that.
Listen, I do admit I do confuse him, and it rubs off on him because I used to be less confusing, and then I started working for Hard Drive and I met you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, my brain cells are just blowing their own brains away.
Yeah. And you invited me on this podcast for some reason. I don't know.
I've lost 50 IQ points since we started.
Oh my God. So are you in the negatives now, or?
Yeah,
He doesn't have that many to spare.
Are you Forrest Gump levels now, or
I'm not.
He's
I'm
Nick-
not
he's
guy
Nick
from.
Cage
or,
and
I'm-
Johnny.
or are you never mind. I'm not gonna say.
If I lose any more, I'll be at Missouri guy levels.
Are you Simple Jack? Missouri level. Hey,
I'm
I'm
Simple
from
Johnny.
Illinois, so haha.
Hey,
Yeah.
man, I call it stray. I don't appreciate that. I might just quit and let Johnny have this spot. Matt, can we spin the brand new? Can we pull up the brand new wheel? I just want to look at it in its glory.
Yeah, let me pull this. You've never seen the wheel. Let's pull it. The listeners can't see this, but
He left his own podcast.
He's back.
I clicked share screen and it kicked me out.
It showed up for a second that you were streaming something, and then you immediately left the call.
I clicked. I clicked go live and
I
it
was like,
kicks
"Damn, that IQ joke must have really hurt his feelings."
He accidentally shared his incognito window and you had to get out quick.
No, I would gladly share that window with you. I clicked go live and it kicked me out immediately. Let me try this again. There we go.
Oh, there it is.
All right.
Matt, do you want to introduce the new wheel to everybody and what's on it?
Should I list everything on the wheel for the listeners?
If they're not keeping track, if they haven't seen the update on social, they're not gonna know.
Okay, so we have a new wheel here. We got 22 movies on it. I'll go from top to bottom. We got Snake Eyes. Then we have a double feature on the wheel, Prey/Predator.
Yep.
Then we got The Nice Guys, RoboCop,
I'd buy that for
GoldenEye.
$1.
Jeff Keighley certainly would. GoldenEye, Sound of Metal, Wedding Crashers, Punch Drunk Love, Vengeance, All the President's Men, The Heartbreak Kid, The Beekeeper, Man of the House, Megalopolis, Licorice Pizza, The Equalizer, Prospect, Bad Times at the El Royale, Jumper, Wanted, Looper, and Heathers.
I was gonna say there's not a bad movie on this wheel, but there is a bad movie on this wheel.
What is the bad movie on the wheel?
Megaflopolis.
It's just a misunderstood masterpiece.
We'll see. We'll see. Some of these might
I
end
haven't
up being
actually seen it.
some of these might end up being bad. I haven't heard great things about Man in the House.
I bet it's like one of those early 2000 comedies that it's good stupid fun.
All right. Is there anything you're hoping is the first wheel spin, what it lands on?
I'm a sick fuck. I want the double feature.
Really? Wow, just getting right into
More
it.
Arnie.
I kind of want the Equalizer because for some reason in the last few days, my YouTube algorithm has just been feeding me clips.
You need to watch those movies.
Yeah, they're quite good. But I also I wanted to land on The Beekeeper because you have to see how ridiculous this movie is.
I want to see that movie too.
I keep thinking about those first 10 minutes. I'm like, I have to see this movie.
It's the best stupid movie of the year.
Those are high honors.
All right, gonna spin the wheel here.
Spin that wheel.
As always, the audio will not come up for the listener, so I do it myself. And it is The Heartbreak Kid.
Yes, jackhammer me.
Oh, I just watched a bad Ben Stiller movie. Now I get to watch a hopefully good one.
What bad Ben Stiller movie did you watch?
Nutcrackers.
Oh shoot, yeah, I could.
That is Christmas movie.
Yeah, this is a new Christmas movie on Hulu.
Let me see where this is streaming.
Oh.
I've just typed in jackhammer me and did not get the results that I thought I would. So it's not streaming anywhere. You will have to rent it
Or
from Amazon Prime or
you know,
Apple or whoever.
Or the old Jack
Alternative
Sparrow,
means.
the old Jack Sparrow method.
Yeah, whoa. This is a 5.8 on IMDb. They're wrong. They're wrong.
I have not seen this movie in a very long time, so I wonder if it is. I remember enjoying it.
This is a great. I mean, you got both Stillers. You got Malin Ackerman, Michelle Monaghan, Rob Corddry, fucking a young Danny McBride is in this.
Oh,
I forgot Carlos Mencia is in this.
Oh no.
Ooh.
Oh,
ooh.
no.
He plays a pretty problematic
Hey,
character.
you know what?
Very problematic character in this movie.
Oh, well, we shall see. If we're starting off with a banger or not.
Stephanie Court. Flo. Flo was in this movie, everybody.
Flo
Flo?
from the insurance commercials?
Yes, from Progressive. She doesn't need movies anymore. She's got all that fucking insurance commercial money.
Oh,
Good for
I
her.
think everyone from this movie is still alive except for Jerry Stiller. When did old Jerry die?
a year or two ago?
4 years ago now, yeah.
Yeah.
2020.
Legend.
Legend. R.I.P. I'm excited.
I'm
We haven't had
excited
a
too.
comedy in a while. We haven't had a comedy since Ricky Stenicki, I think.
That yes. I mean Hitman.
It's a rom-com.
Yeah. Good
It's
movie.
alright.
It's a good one though.
It is.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Isn't The Heartbreak Kid also a rom-com kind of?
Kinda, yeah.
Is it about an older man finding love?
Yes.
In all the wrong places.
Oh.
I'm excited because I remember enjoying this movie, but I haven't seen it in like 10 years. So
yeah, it's been because it came out in 2007, which the fact that this movie is 17 years old is blowing my mind right now.
Yeah, I think a lot of the movies the wheel lands on a movie and I'm like immediately I'm gonna like this, or I'm probably not gonna like this. I'm excited
It's a Farrelly Brothers joint. I forgot that.
This movie I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna like this, and that excites me.
Was this the last good Farrelly?
Well, Ricky Stenicki was a Farrelly.
Was it?
It was. I think it was just one of them though.
I mean, like from their really big run, because they had a good run for a while there. Oh, they did Hall. You know what? They never went away. The sequel's been bad. They did Dear Santa.
Did they do that together, or was that one of them? Because
I think that was just Bobby.
Oh yeah, because I know they did the old Coen brothers. We're gonna direct things on our own now.
We don't like each other anymore. We're going our separate ways.
All right. Well, this has been an illuminating podcast. In that I'm quite shocked and pleasantly surprised that Johnny lasted an hour and 40 minutes without trying to push his literature on us.
We had coffee. I've already read the literature. I've been indoctrinated.
What literature?
Your interest in literature that you're always trying to get the other hard drive writers to read.
I don't know what you're talking about, unless it's like Stephen King novels or something.
No, you said such terrible things about Stephen King to me privately.
No, I would never do that.
I have the messages right here. I haven't pulled up. You called him a woke hack? If I'm reading this correctly?
This
said he hasn't written anything good since it. All you said man, it's terrible, man.
This podcast appearance is over.
He wants to, for this podcast appearance, he would like us to refer to him by his pseudonym.
I know, unlike our other two guests, you don't really have anything important to promote, but would you like to tell people if they could follow you somewhere or anything?
Yeah, you can follow me on Blue Sky. It's at drvinkman.com.
May I ask how you snatched that up?
I checked Namecheap last week and it was available.
How cheap was Dr. Venkman?
$7.
Damn. Sony's slacking.
I started using that username several years ago. Gosh, it's been a bit now, but yeah, like I've made that my handle on just about everything.
I'm gonna touch. Is that a Madam Web reference? What is that?
Yeah, it is actually. Dr. Venkman is the.
Oh no!
Dr.
Is that her dad that was studying spiders in the forest or whatever?
No, her mom was studying spiders in the Amazon just before she died, and Dr. Venkman was also there.
He was one of the spiders.
He was
okay. Well,
he was another researcher.
Mine is a Ghostbusters reference, referencing Peter Venkman of Ghostbusters.
Okay.
Ghostbusters. Peter Venkman, Ghostbusters. I don't remember. Was that one of the kids?
Yeah, that was the one that Finn Blowhard is in.
Yeah. Okay.
Finn Wolfman.
Oh, that's what Finn Wolfman. Oh, he was pretty young to be a doctor, but good for him.
It makes sense how you were able to get that. Sony is very sloppy with that IP. They don't care.
Yeah, they have.
I was amazed.
They have craven movies to make.
At one point, I owned Johnny.Zone. I'm pretty sure that's
sounds That sounds like an unhinged porn site.
Yeah, it does.
The Johnny's. You sound like you review Johnny Sin's appearances.
Oh no.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of the Johnny
Oh.
Zone.
I
This-
just, I
This
really love
week-
that guy's cock. I'm straight, but I love that guy's cock.
This week he ordered he ordered a large pizza extra sausage, and he doesn't have the money to pay.
I know you got an episode title planned out already, but
And
rename it the Johnny's though. Today we're reviewing Johnny Sin's first film appearance. You can tell he didn't have his stroke down yet at this point.
he didn't know.
Oh, in this early Johnny Sins appearance, he was still a beat cop, hadn't yet made detective.
Yeah, the fluffer was really making his pay that day on
Yeah. Talk about beat cop.
set. Oh, meat cop.
This was before he made Private Dick.
And then Dick the Private, but it doesn't mean what you think it does.
This is Johnny Sins before he landed on his signature no hair look.
This was before he hit his big break in the hit
It's like-
blockbuster Indiana Jones.
Yeah, it's like when what was Sleepaway Camp? There was some horror movie from the early '80s that Jason Alexander is in, and he has a full head of hair.
I think he is in Sleepaway Camp. Oh my god!
Yeah, it's Sleepaway Camp. Yeah, I watched that movie recently. I was like, holy fuck, because he's one of the main characters in that movie. Like this,
movie.
it's a good 6 to 8 years before Seinfeld was on the air and before the McDLT commercial. Before he really struck it big with the McDLT commercial.
He
I
got
mean-
McDLT money. He's like, I'm not doing movies anymore.
If you haven't seen the McDLT commercial, do yourself a favor, pull up YouTube, search for it, and you'll see Jason Alexander singing a song about the McDLT, which was a sandwich that McDonald's sold in the 80s. That was the whole premise behind it was you keep the hot stuff hot, you keep the cold stuff cold, and then they give you your sandwich, and then you assemble it, and that somehow makes it better.
Is that where the term DLC comes from? I like to believe so.
Yeah, that's where Todd Howard got the idea for horse armor.
Hey guys, remember that McDonald's sandwich that you'd made yourself? Yeah. Well, what if we had a game the players have to build themselves, except they pay us money for all the parts?
It's genius.
You spin
Oh.
off Johnny
Oh, it's
Zone, you do
genius,
Salami Zone.
You brilliant little man.
He's so tiny. Otherwise, those men were just very tall.
Oh,
I think everyone else was on stilts. Everyone else had to be on stilts. That whole show.
they filmed
just-
the whole. Anytime Todd was on,
I've
they
s-
they
yeah.
used the Lord of the Rings forced perspective trick.
It's like what they did with Hagrid in Harry Potter. They would just have him standing really close to the camera and have the kids really far away.
Oh, we should end this podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm gonna go review some Johnny Sin.
Oh God.
All right.
Enjoy yourself.
Yeah. Well, welcome to
Thanks
a new
for coming
season.
on, Johnny.
Yeah. Welcome to a new season, everybody, especially you, Steve Buscemi.
Hi, Steve. Bye, Steve.
Hi, Steve. Love you, Steve.